Welcome to our Operational Services Committee. On this committee are myself, Mayor Clayton, Councillor O'Toole, and Councillor O'Connor. So we'll look for an adoption agenda, but I'm asking we can maybe switch items 4.2 and 4.3 around on the agenda just to amend that. But I'll go to Councillor O'Toole, please.
I make a motion for committee to adopt the agenda as presented, which means we're switching items 4.2 and 4.3 around. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor O'Toole. Councillor O'Toole, how do you vote? Yes, okay. Thank you for that. So that carries. So we have no delegations. We'll go into our reports, and I'll go to our service area update to Chief Glavin, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. We'll start off in engineering and transportation services. There are a few active construction sites. Continuing, we have the reconstruction of 123rd Avenue from Crystal Ridge Road to 97B Street with the concrete work completed, road gravel replacement underway with paving to follow shortly thereafter. As well, we are performing the full depth reclamation of 97B Street from 123rd Avenue to 128th Avenue. The full depth reclamation portion has been completed with the first lift of asphalt installed. We have recently completed the overlay of 132nd Avenue from 103rd Street to 116th Street, and paving marking installation should be completed shortly. As well, the overlay of 90th Street from 64th Avenue to 67th Avenue and spot repair of concrete has been completed, and landscaping should finish up this week. In corporate facility management, the Eastlink aquatic shutdown is underway from September 1st to October 5th. The paving stone remediation work at Design Works should have the concrete poured this week. The Center 2000 paving stone remediation, we've removed the brickwork, repaired the sundial clock hands, and the asphalt has been installed with sod to be laid here shortly. The Muskogee Park lawn bowling turf border was installed, and we're just finishing up with the landscaping this week. And lastly, the curling club furnace replacement units are being ordered and scheduled for installation this year, and half of that cost is funded through the Municipal Climate Change Center. And with that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you for that, Chief Glavin. Councillor O'Toole.
Yes, thanks very much for the report. It looks like we did a lot of work this year. Are we going to have all of the projects completed this year that we had planned?
Thanks, Chair Palat. That's currently our expectation.
And can you give me a rough idea or approximate idea on how much money we spent on road rehab and the projects that were mentioned?
I think our rehab budget was somewhere in the neighborhood of about $13–14 million this year. I can't remember exactly the number, but that would be in the ballpark.
Okay, thanks very much.
Any other questions for Chief Glavin? Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to 4.3 on our agenda, the preliminary design costs for paving 101st Street, and I'll just look for admin to introduce, please.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Palat. Committee requested the engineering costs for 101st Street paving and lighting installation. This area has been subject to previous local improvement attempts that didn't get sufficient support from the benefiting landowners. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Hinton for the details.
Good morning through the chair. I'm here to provide information on the potential paving of 101 Street from 124th Avenue to 132nd Avenue, inclusive of 128th Ave from 101 Street to 100 Street. This report responds to committee's request on July 22nd to bring a report regarding engineering costs for paving and bringing lights to the roadway. The current status of 101 Street and 128th Ave, it's currently paved in a rural cross-section with ditches and has no pedestrian facilities or street lighting and street lighting, and it's in a commercial zoned area. The preliminary design at an approximate cost of $70,000 would look at two options: an urban cross-section and a rural cross-section. We can consider existing utilities, expected traffic, and drainage issues, and determine what would be the most effective use of the existing right-of-way. This would provide a more detailed cost estimate. Potential costs to upgrade the road could be between $2.6 million and $4 million. These estimates include 101 Street from 124th Ave to 132nd Avenue and 128th Avenue from 101 Street to 100 Street. It's recommended that the committee receive this report for information.
Thank you for the report. Any questions from committee? Okay, I have a couple, I guess, as I had asked for this report. I'm just curious if we were to go ahead with paving at some point, would, similar to some other road, would be able to pave just on top of that service that's currently there, as it's a operating gravel functioning road now, or would it have to be dug down and rebased to pave it?
Through the chair, it would probably have to be looked at to most likely dug up and repaired to be able to be paved on it, and so.
Okay, and I guess there's two options in this report. One's just received for information. Can't make motions, but I would hope, and I guess we can have this conversation at debate at committee, that we could refer this to the fall budget. I do think this council has been pretty active on trying to get all these gravel roads that are kicking around the city paved, and we've been getting the engineering work started on a lot of them to get the next steps done. And so my fear is we've had several businesses in that area with their concerns. Still see it as a gravel road in the middle of our city. So just wondering if anybody would be interested in that, I guess, but it's up to committee on what direction they'd like to go.
Yes. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks,
okay.
you're ready.
Yes, I'm on the Zoom meeting.
Okay. We have somebody online, I think, Ms. Downing. If you just could mute yourself, we'll come to you next on the agenda, please. So I had Councillor O'Connor's hand up first, and then we'll go to Mayor Clayton.
Yes, thank you very much. I also have the concern is that we keep delaying this project. We saw in the report that they've been developed in the 60s, and there was more of a rural standard here, and now this and the 99th Street area is in the same thing. So I agree that at some point in time we need to put some funds away so that we can modernize. I know that the neighbors in the area don't want to pay the piper, and I don't blame them because, it's expensive, and can't expect them all to do that. I'm wondering if we shouldn't be looking at a grandfathering thing, or put some money ahead and plan to put some money in. We just have to say, are we a modern city or not? And do we just put in the services we need? But I'd recommend that we also bring it up at budget deliberation and try and set some funds aside. So I know it's expensive, but I had to say that.
Okay, thanks for that, Councillor O'Connor. Mayor Clayton.
Thanks, Chair Plott. Yeah, I appreciate your comments in regards to sending this to council for consideration to send it to the fall budget. I think it's a good conversation for all of council to have. I'm curious, Mr. Hinton or Chief Glavin, if anybody's had any further conversations with the neighbors. It wouldn't be out of line that if we were to get to a point of paving this road, that there was levies that were applied to the property owners, and I'm wondering if we've had any of those conversations.
Yeah, thanks, Chair Plott. No, there haven't been any further conversations with them at this point. I think to have a productive conversation with them, we likely do need to have costs in there so they know what they're talking about and we know what we're talking about. So if that is the goal, then this would likely be the best process.
Great. Thanks for your comments.
Just another question, just to follow up on that. Is there an opportunity, I guess, again, I appreciate we need to get the actual costs, but is there an opportunity for the city to look at some kind of a program where I think traditionally in the past, and if I'm wrong, please correct me on a but we'd expect the proponents to pay for all of the improvements. And so I'm just wondering if there's an opportunity once we get the estimating costs come back from the engineering for a future council to say, we're interested in paying up to half of that or 25% or something just to keep that levy down. Is that an option for the city to do that? Or is it all or nothing to make the levy go on to the adjacent property owners?
Yeah, thanks, Chair Plott. Yeah, so historically, to my knowledge, when these local improvements have occurred, the local improvements that have been desired by the adjacent landowners have been the responsibility of those landowners. However, if there are municipal interests, let's say that there's something that we need to serve a larger area, we may install that at the same time, and there may be some sharing of costs that way. But if it was purely for the paving of a road for the adjacent residents, historically it's been on those. So similar to Richmond Industrial Park was a local improvement that was all gravel roads at one time that was paid for by the owners. Similarly, I think, what is it, over by the GMC dealership, that was local improvement as well that was paid for by the owners. I believe the city did share some of that cost, but that was to serve a larger municipal purpose than just for those adjacent owners.
Okay, well, fair enough. So that'd be a conversation that could happen if the preliminary engineering was completed. So, okay, just looking for business arising then. Mayor Clayton.
I would move that committee recommend council refer $70,000 in funding for the preliminary design of paving 101 Street from 124th to 132nd Avenue and 128th from 101st Street to 101st from 101st Street to 100th Street to the 2026 budget deliberations.
Appreciate that. Thank you, Mayor Clayton. Any discussion or debate on that? Seeing none, please vote. Give Councillor Plott in favor.
Councillor O'Connor in favor.
And that carries. With that, we'll move back to 4.2, the development permits, and I'll just look for admin to introduce, please.
Thank you, Chair Palat. The city's received an application for the discretionary use of a commercial property in Crystal Lake for the purposes of a liquor store. This is something that is discretionary, with the development authority being this committee. This property has been a liquor store in the past, and for the details, I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Downing, who is joining us via Teams.
Okay, thanks for that, Chief Clavin. Go ahead, please, Ms. Downing.
Thank you. As Brian said, the city has received an application for a change of use to liquor store. The site location is in Crystal Lake, on Crystal Lake Drive, and it's currently designated as local commercial, and that district supports small-scale commercial services that meet the daily needs of surrounding residents. The adjacent uses include a restaurant, a photography studio, a grocery store, and an animal clinic. The property is currently designated as commercial business center. In this designation, any use listed as permitted in the district does not require a change of use development application. However, the applicant is proposing a liquor store, which is a discretionary use. A change of use is required. As the development authority for this use is the appropriate standing committee, the application must be reviewed and approved by the Operational Services Committee. The subject property is located within a commercial complex that previously accommodated a liquor store. This demonstrates that the use has historically operated at this location. The proposed liquor store aligns with this intent by offering a retail service that is common in neighborhood commercial nodes. Similar retail uses, such as cannabis retail store, are also permissible in this district. The proposed liquor store meets all the requirements of the land use bylaw. No variances are being proposed. It's compatible with the commercial business center, and the proposed use aligns with the intent of the local commercial district to provide small-scale commercial services for nearby residents. The application was sent to nearby residents. One letter of objection was received. You'll see that in your package. However, administration recommends approval of this liquor store. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. Any questions for administration and committee? Seeing none, I go to business arising then. Councillor O'Toole.
Sorry.
Sorry, Mayor Clayton.
I did have a question. I'm just processing for a sec. Ms. Downing, you may have mentioned it, but I might have missed it. Remind me, there was a liquor store in this plaza previously, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
And sorry, why? So it's no longer there. So why is this coming back to us? Walk me through that again.
Thank you. Through the chair, the liquor store was in a different location in the complex, so this is a new use, and any use that is discontinued for 6 months or more or changed to a different use would require a permit to exist or operate.
Okay, thank you for that.
Sorry, any other questions from committee? Okay, I'll go back to Councillor O'Toole, please.
Thank you very much, Councillor Palat. I move the committee approve development permit PL 250-290 for the addition of a liquor store at 103-9131 Crystal Lake Drive. And I remember when the first liquor store went in, it was discretionary because it's so close to a school. But the school, there's no kids can get in that even if they wanted to. So thank you.
Okay, thanks for the motion. Councillor O'Toole. Please vote. Councillor Plott in favor. And that carries. We have no correspondence or other business. Bylaw or policy review, so we'll go back to our outstanding item list, please. Chief Clavin.
Thanks, Chair Palat. Today we heard 1380, the engineering cost for 101st Street. We can remove that as that's now been referred to Council for consideration for budget.
Okay, thanks for the update. Councillor O'Toole, please. O'Connor, sorry.
Thank you very much. You looked at me and called me O'Toole. Yes, it is a good compliment. Anyway, I'd like to move committee receive the September 2nd outstanding items list as amended for information.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor O'Connor, please vote. Councillor Plott in favor. And that carries. And with that, we will adjourn. We'll be back momentarily for our next committee meeting. Thank you.